Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 12 of the AUSNZ Community Podcast. I'm back in the hosting chair again, and a special thanks to Murray for filling in my absence last episode. You always do a wonderful job, mate, and I can't thank you enough. So thanks very much for stepping in yet again. Well, happy Easter, everyone. And you probably noticed that we are a week later than usual due to, of course, the public holidays and the Easter break. A very exciting episode tonight, and one that I've been looking forward to for a little while now, with none other than Mr. Postman Pat himself joining us. It's our chief and good all-round bloke, Goose, who will be joining us a little later on. But first, as always, we welcome our panel with Pete, Eva, and Alpha, and another special guest that's dropped by to say hello. Good old Mad Maxie has popped in for this episode. Welcome, gentlemen, and happy Easter to you guys, and happy Easter, Eva. Welcome, mate.
Yep, welcome everybody. Thanks, mate. Good to be here again. Easter break was nice and relaxed. It's great to have 5 days off in a row. Unfortunately, having to go back to work on Tuesday was kind of hard. Yeah, look forward to chatting with Goose.
Absolutely. Yeah, looking forward to chatting to Goosey later on. And I think it's been a busy week for yourself, hasn't it, Eva?
Yeah, I've had a crazy week this week. So much going on with work, even in the short weeks. So look forward to the weekend at the moment.
Beautiful, mate. Couple of relaxing drinks coming your way, I'm sure.
Yep.
Pete, welcome, mate. How's everything? And good to have you back with us again.
Yeah, good. Easter break was good for us too. It was nice having a really extra long weekend with the family. That was nice.
How much chocolates did you down, Pete? Now, be honest.
I only downed one block before Easter of chocolate, just standard chocolate, and then two Easter bunnies. That's it.
That's a pretty good effort. That's a lot better than what I've had so far.
But mind you, the kids, they got spoiled by their grandparents. We went to their grandparents' house for an Easter egg hunt on Easter, and they both got 59 eggs each.
59 eggs, just assorted, or just the
Assorted,
same
yeah.
size? Or? Yeah, right.
I had all the grandkids over, and they did spread them all over the house and divvied them all up afterwards. So everyone got 59 eggs.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we did a little Easter egg hunt inside our house, so we didn't do outside because it was a bit wet and raining. So and my kids are really early wakers, so they get up at the crack of dawn, probably before that. And yeah, we hit some eggs around the house, and it smiles on their faces, mate. It was totally worth it. So yeah,
definitely worth it.
It was good. It was good. It was a good few days off, that's for sure. Happy Easter to you, Alfie. Welcome, mate.
Yep. Welcome, everyone, and happy Easter.
How was your Easter, and how many chocolate eggs have you downed so far?
My Easter was good, and I've only downed one chocolate egg, a Lindt dark one.
Lindt?
Ooh.
Well, that's getting pretty fancy, mate. Very, very nice. We like our Lindt. But yeah, you've only downed one, mate. So are you a chocolate lover, or do you like chocolate?
I am a chocolate lover, but just because I've only downed one egg doesn't mean I haven't downed a block of Lindt white chocolate.
Well, you're pacing yourself, I think. Hey, you got to take your time with all the chocolate Easter eggs.
Yep.
Good man. And for this episode, we got a special host in tonight. Mad Max, happy Easter, mate. Welcome.
Happy Easter, everyone. Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah, and how was your long weekend? And did you go away anywhere, or what'd you do?
No, I stayed at home. Did a bit of schoolwork for start of the next term, which was pretty boring.
You're doing schoolwork on the holidays?
Not boring, but smart.
Well, got to catch up for Monday.
Oh, you got to catch up.
Yeah, it's
True.
pretty boring.
That's a smart thing to do to get ahead early, mate. So it's a good decision to do schoolwork when you can. Beautiful. Well, thanks for coming in, Maxi. We thought we were going to be one short tonight. Pete was 50-50 on joining us tonight, but it's good to have you here, Pete. But he might have to go early or something. But we got Mad Maxi here just to cover anyway. And thanks for coming in tonight and on short notice, buddy. So thank you.
No problem. I'm sure pretty hard to take Pete's spot.
yeah, that is all right, mate. You can come in anytime you like. We've got a great guest coming in, Goosey, of course. We can't wait to chat to him later. But well, obviously the big news of the week is the new update that's rolling out very soon. It's rolling out in the next couple of days. By now, everybody knows there's a new vehicle, and of course, it's the lowrider, and which we'll go into some further discussions. But first, I want to talk about the news that Fingersoft have recently come out with the other night. Slightly controversial, but in my opinion, the correct decision and something that I support and something that I'm totally in agreement with. I stand with Ukraine, and so does Fingersoft. And if you didn't see the message that Fingersoft came out with yesterday, I think it was, I'll just quickly read what they said. So this was posted yesterday, 21st of April, by Reese himself on the Fingersoft announcements channel. In inverted commas, Fingersoft has decided, in response to the ongoing war in Ukraine, to remove its games from the app stores in Russia and Belarus. In-app purchases have been halted, and access to its games will be suspended for players in those countries. It will also adopt a zero-tolerance policy towards pro-war messaging within its games, effective immediately. So I'm in support of that. Gentlemen, what are our thoughts on that?
Yeah, does that mean that everyone in the country who plays the game will no longer be able to play the game? Is that right?
From what I'm reading, that's what I believe. Yes,
So what happens to all those teams in the CC division? Do they just get zeroed?
Well, I don't know how it's going to take effect, but what I do know, I think, is that they can't. New players from those particular countries can't download Fingersoft's games at the moment. The players that have already got the games, I'm not sure if they are able to connect to the server. That's what I think anyway. Which means if they can't connect to the servers, they can't play matches.
That's right. It'll just be offline doing adventure.
Yeah, exactly. Eva, what is your thoughts on the subject, mate? A little controversial, I know, but what do you think?
It is a bit controversial. I think it's a very, very large step for Fingersoft to do. I understand that it's a country at war and all that sort of stuff, but the people who play the game have no real say in what the country they live in does. I know that's going to sound controversial, but that's my position on it. It's not.
You know what? I definitely agree with you. I agree with you there. Like it's not fair for the people that in those countries that are doing the right thing and that are against everything that's going on, and they've got no control of what happens as well. So I do feel sorry for those people as well who try and do the right thing. But I think this statement is more directed at players who are pro-war and have like advertising through their names or whatever in the game. I think it's more directed at those players.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. What I'm trying to say is that the people who are who want to just play the game, like they have no
Maybe
control over
to
the war.
escape the war.
Maybe even to escape the war. They have no say in how their government runs their country. And now they're losing out on other things. So, I mean, I can understand what Fingersoft have done, and it's their prerogative to do that. But yeah, I see the other side of it. I see the players' side of it who turn around and go, well, 10 people playing a game online or something like that isn't going to change the way Putin thinks. But yeah, I understand where they're coming from. and
Yeah.
it's their prerogative to do it. So yeah, so be it.
Yep. No, fair. That's a fair point. Yeah, it is pretty controversial, but I think it's at the end of the day, it's their company, it's their game and it's their decision, I suppose. At the end of the day, isn't it? So
Yep.
it's not much anybody can do about that. That's what they want to do. So in other news, in AUSNZ news in particular, we're coming up to the end of the season, and we've got our CC team travelling just outside the top 50, and we've got our team 1 that's around about 250th in Division 1 or something like that. So team 3 sitting pretty comfortably, Pete, in Division 2, I think. They're safe for the moment.
Been smashing out the wins.
They have, and I think same with team 4. They're still doing really well as well, and they're safely in the safe zone as well. I'll have to check with LTR, see what they're doing. And all right, so topic tonight, Eva, do you have a special topic for us that you want to talk about? And
Sorry, I was originally going to talk about burnout, but
okay,
Fingersoft then introduced a new level and car. So I figure I may as well talk about something that's new to all of us as well.
yeah.
I must say, first things first, I must say I'm really impressed by the way that Fingersoft have released the car and made it available to people through the public event that's coming up.
So you're
And-
able to win it in the public event like you would the Moonlander.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
what
much.
I heard as well. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I heard that I'm not sure which chest you can win it in, but I'd say it'd be one of the chests, maybe the 200.
Oh no,
epic
it
chest,
won't
maybe.
be a chest. It'll be just like a skin. You know, you go along and then you get prizes. That would be one of the prizes.
Because sometimes the Moonlander is within a chest. It's just an add-on. So that's what I thought it was going to be like.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're probably right. It could be separate on its own.
Or it could even be finish the event. Or it could even be a public event where it's only the you can only play the lowrider.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a
So
it's a lowrider only public event.
Yeah, and I think if that's the way they're going to put it out there, and make the vehicle available, I think that's an amazing way to get people to understand what it's capable of, have a play with it, and then go, yeah, I want to have some fun, or nah, not really for me. I won't upgrade it.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy about that. And the other thing is, it means that the people with lots of coins and maxed accounts aren't the ones smashing out records with it straight away, because everybody gets it the same day.
Yep.
Or close enough to the same day, anyway.
And I'm pretty sure if you don't want to win it in the public event, so you don't want to do the event, I'm pretty sure once it's available, you can buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was about 50K, about 50 grand.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
To purchase it, yeah.
Yep. And I mean, we've seen IO and IO have released video and on gameplay with the car. Looks like it's going to be a bit of fun. My personal opinion, the fact that you can't kangaroo it. Yes, a car that won't have scores that are all about kanga.
But the thing is, though, it's got built-in hydraulics. It's got a hydraulic system.
It's got built-in junk shocks. I get that.
But it also has landing boosts and wings. So you can obviously you could pretty much be able to kangaroo it anyway.
You could
with an extra part.
But I think from what I've seen in the gameplay, you need to charge them up. So you can't just go kanga, 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 kanga. You've got to drive it and then kanga. Drive it.
Okay, so it's kind of like a charge up system similar to the EV, where you have to get the shock, and it charges up the shock.
Well, that's what I've seen in the videos. So I haven't.
When you start up on a race, the suspension's right up high, and you won't be able to jump very high if it's all the way up.
Yep. So I have a funny feeling this is going to be a cool car to have some fun with, as opposed to something that's going to win records. But hey, we said that about lots of other cars, and the CCEV has started to break some records in places that no one thought it would, and Rotator's done the
The
same.
rotator, we all thought that was rubbish at the start.
Yep. So, I think once everybody starts to play with it and get better with it, I think we might see some records for maybe, I don't know. From what I've seen of that new track and not watching for hours and hours and hours of someone getting to 10K already, it looks pretty fun because it's a whole series of traps, very similar to the city track. And
now, when you drive that new fun park track, the vehicles that don't have a roof or anything like that, it's going to be quite difficult to not die. Is that true, or do you reckon?
I don't know. From what I've seen so far, I reckon you have two paths, like the factory. There's more than one way to get from left to right. You can go up or down.
And the glacier
whereas-
one too.
Yeah. So I think it has the ability that you could go over or under, and over, of course, would be all the people that do Kanga, and under might be the way that everybody else does. But I think it's going to be a fun track. Someone's now going to have to calculate what the next level of stars is, because there's another couple of 100,000 stars to win, plus a new car, plus a new adventure track. People are going to start cracking 4 million stars, I think.
So, in other words, I have no excuses now not to reach Canyoneer.
Correct.
You know what? Stuff that. I'm not going to do any. I'm still not going to reach Canyoneer.
Well, I've got 3 million stars, right?
Uh,
I've got 3 million stars. It's just across two accounts.
I think I'm the only member of both the two top teams in AUSNZ who has not reached Canyoneer on their main account.
No, I reckon there's a couple others.
Yeah, there might be a couple of others. Not many though, but
No, not many.
I've been playing the game quite a long time, but yeah,
I got buoyed into it by Mad Max.
I'm just not an adventure person. Like I've actually been talking to Bell through DMs, and he's been trying to shout out to DeBell, mate. How you going? He's one of the top adventure players in Australia, and he's just been trying to give me some advice and just trying to spur me on a little bit. But
here's my advice to you: just do it.
Yeah, or just get good.
No, just do it.
just do it like the Nike tag, you reckon, eh?
Yeah, like just sit down, pick up the game, and for an hour play adventure. I think from what DeBell said to me, he's had a couple of chats to me about stuff, is just play a track, learn it, play a track, learn it, play a track. And then once you've started to play one track and you've gotten good with one car, while you're already there and remembered everything, start using the next car.
Yeah, that's all right, man. I'll eventually. I've got no excuses now, so I'll give it a good crack in the next couple of weeks, and should see how we go.
Where have you got to go?
What's that, mate? Oh, I've got another 100,000 or so. So 100,000 stars. So I think I'm sitting just short of 900,000. So, but that's all right. Well, yeah.
Work on Forest. They're easy 10Ks.
Yeah, Forest and stuff like that. So, that's all good. That's another subject for another day. But look, Max, yeah, go for it, Eva.
So the next episode, I'll talk about burnout.
Yeah, no worries. Okay,
and we can work from there.
Maxie, I want to get your thoughts on the new car, mate. What do you think, and what's your first impressions?
I don't know. It looks pretty cool. Paints look pretty good. But like I think it was Eva who said like the jump shocks have to build up kind of thing. What might be pretty hard for I don't know, team event or whatever. See how it works and get used to it more.
Here's a question for you: is it going to be one of those vehicles that you're going to tear what's left of hair on your head out, or in that case, Eva's got none? But
Hey! Just remember, my eyebrow has serious intentions of growing taller.
Okay, so will Eva, Maxie, this is a question for you. Will Eva have to tear some of his eyebrows out in regards to his new vehicle?
Yeah.
I'd say you're correct on that too.
One singular hair left.
Yeah. Oh, look, my first impressions is that, in all seriousness, my first impressions is the vehicle. Look, it's going to take some time to get used to, and I think Fingersoft are going to put it in the next few team events, just like they did with the EV, just like they did with the rotator beforehand, and et cetera. Which means we're going to have to get to know it quickly to be good with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I've heard some rumors that it's coming in the next public event, which means I think we'll start to race it when we get the new update.
Just real quick, while we're on the subject of the new vehicle, it looks like with the hydraulics you can down tune the rear and the front hydraulics.
Separately.
That's going to be
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
That's going to be very tactical as well, because I think you're going to find some balance on what works best in regards to probably Kanga. I think all the pros and all the clans out there are going to be trying to figure out what's the best setup in regards to the hydraulic system and what can probably be the quickest in regards to Kanga, I guess.
It does look like the front end sits a bit higher when both are max.
It does, doesn't it? So if it's the front end sits a bit higher to begin with, how does that play out? Anyway, all right. Do we want to talk a little bit more about the new update, or we've pretty much covered everything and move on?
I think we can move on, mate.
Move on. No dramas. All right, Pete. Let's get you and Maxi in, and let's discuss some team events and public
real
events.
quickly, do we want to do Alpha because he said he had to leave early?
Oh, okay, Alfie. All right, let's get to you, mate. Let's talk some statistics with Alpha. Alfie, what do you got for us today, mate?
Funnily enough, it's about the update.
Yeah, I was going to guess that as well. Okay, go for it, buddy.
So the first thing we have is it takes 2.66 million coins to max out the basic upgrades for the lowrider.
So that's maxing out the tunes.
Yeah.
All right, and I thought when I was watching Vereshak's video that he probably used about, I don't know, it was about 150,000 scrap or 200,000 scrap or something.
Yeah, I haven't watched his video in depth, but it would take a lot of scrap to get stuff right from level 1 to max.
Yeah, I was watching an IO's video as well. He was going through some chests, and I think he just missed out on a couple of legendary parts, but he got most of the parts. But I think he was going through quite some scrap as well. Yeah.
Hey, Alpha, do you know what the new max GP is?
Hang on, let me do some calculations and I'll find that out.
Sorry.
I think the new GP is 9968 or 67. I think it is
9978.
9978. Right. Well, 10,000.
Yeah.
So just short of 10,000. Now I wonder, gentlemen, if this will be the last vehicle and the last update to come out of HCR2.
I'm calling, yep.
Are you calling it?
No, surely not. Because HCR1 still gets updates and new stuff, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, like a main kind of.
Well, if you're calling it what I think you're calling it, Maxi, you're in regards to calling it as in this will be the last update or last vehicle before a new game gets released, possibly down the line, maybe HCR3.
Yeah. Not forever, just before next one.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I believe this will be the last update, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm just guessing, but could possibly see HCR3 later in the year, early next year. Hopefully it's sometime soon because I'm really keen Really want to play
Yeah,
it?
who would know?
Well, that's a good question. Only the head honchos at Fingersoft would know these details. So, yeah, I'll have to wait and see down the track. But yeah, Alfie, you ready? You got the stats there, mate. It's got all the basics.
So there's magnet, heavyweight, wings, roll cage, air control, winter tires, flip boost, landing boost.
Flip boost. That's going to be interesting because I don't know. It depends. Yeah, does it have thrusters? That's the question.
It does not.
It doesn't have thrusters. Okay,
No.
so flip boost is going to be interesting. Is it going to be one of those parts where you never use it on the thing, like say the flip boost for truck or
Monster.
monster truck?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
the racing truck.
I reckon it might. This vehicle might be okay for the occasional trick time attack.
Yeah, okay.
So it's got overcharged turbo, afterburner, fuel boost, and coin boost.
Along with start boost, wheelie boost, and fume boost.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's gonna it's definitely gonna it's definitely gonna take some time to upgrade that, get all the parts for those. But yeah, looks like the parts are pretty well spot on, except for probably the flip boost. I'd say you might need the roll cage for a few team events and stuff like that as well down the track. Along with special guest Maxi, we have Pete's Power Public Events, Pete's Power PE Events, Pete's Power Team Events.
Okay, that's quite enough.
That's quite enough. Pete's.
It's a mouthful. Let's just say that.
It's Pete's Power Precision Events. Let's get stuck into it. I reckon. Pete, go for it, buddy.
All right. So what have we got here? Because we're running a week behind due to Easter and holidays and stuff, we've had 3 lots of public events. We had the parkour multi-jump, which was kangaroo style, jump as far as you can. Lots of fun.
Incorrect.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite public events, mate. That's a beauty.
Yeah, definitely. There's 1 or 2 tracks that I just could not get, but every other one was awesome fun. And the flash mob for that one was a massive turnout. I forget how many were there.
We
15-ish.
we always get a huge turnout for that flash mob, don't we? In particular, that event. I can't remember the last one where we don't get a good turnout on that one.
Yeah.
The little tournament was pretty good too, with all the getting the best distances.
Yeah. Now, Maxi, did you come up with that idea, or who came up with that little idea?
He kind of did, I suppose.
Yeah, because that's
wrote all the names down.
Yeah, that's pretty good how we're starting to do that, because it gets them interesting, doesn't it? It gets a little bit of competitiveness out of all the players in our AUSNZ server. So,
Yeah.
but for those that don't know and listeners that don't know what that is, just you want to go through explain that, Maxi?
It's basically all the tracks that are for the public event, like in a list, and then you post a screenshot of the time or distance or whatever, and then you add your name to the track with the time or distance. But you've got to post a screenshot with that.
And for the moment, it'll be your time or distance will be winning until someone beats it, and then they post their time.
Yeah, and then the person at the most at the end wins absolutely nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Just a bit of a pride award.
Well, they could win your love and devotion for another week, Mad Max.
Yeah, that's not happening.
They win Mad Max's respect. That's pretty good.
That's even better. Mad Max's respect for a week.
High praise. That's high praise.
Yeah, for a week.
Do you know what we should do? We should add a role and give that to them, like public event champion.
A not roll, or a sesame seed roll, or a
not roll. A
not roll.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I think we should call it the knot roll.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea, Pete. We'll get on to Muzz and Murray about that. And well, actually, you could do it yourself, Pete, because you're an administrator.
Oh.
That's true. I am now.
Yeah, it's very true. So we'll leave
By
that. In,
default. Right time,
Fine.
right place.
we'll leave that in your capable hands, mate. So if you want to get that rolling, that would be great for the next PE event, which I think is in. Well, I don't know about you guys, but Pete, you want to get into the PE? Sorry, we've gone off topic here a bit, but let's get back to the PE events, mate. And we'll talk about the one that's currently happening at the moment.
All right, so the one after the car core multi-jump was the How Eggs Hoisting, which was an Easter egg trailer event. So you had to carry the Easter eggs and try not to drop them, which is impossible.
So was it before Easter? So or after Easter? Because it was a
It
trailer.
was just before Easter. So it was still happening when Easter was there.
An absolute horrid event.
No, it
Yes,
wasn't.
Oh, I
it
couldn't.
was terrible.
It was terrible. I probably got about what 30 stars or whatever it is. Yeah, 30 points.
I
Yeah.
managed to get 401.
Nah, I couldn't grind it. I could not grind it to
Yeah.
save my own life. I couldn't do it. I just
That was
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's not for me. Anyway,
Yep. So after the How Exhausting one was Masochistic Mountaineering, which is a hill climb event using only 4 vehicles. So they're all maxed out and they're all fixed parts.
Some
No,
have
they're
level.
not
Or-
maxed out. That's the
They're
thing.
not maxed out.
They're not maxed out. Most of them are set at 10,
That just goes to
and
show I haven't played it yet.
and the parts are not maxed
Yeah.
out either.
Okay.
yeah, I think the parts are, mate. I think the parts are level 4, but
all the parts are
I
maxed.
think the tunes are not.
Yep, choose
No,
a
So
the
we've
tunes
got-
are all maxed. I know. Yeah, the parts are maxed. The engine on the tractor's 10, and the mono wheel stability is 10, and the engine
Yeah,
on
that's
the
right.
snowmobile's 10.
The snowmobile is 10, and the
But
balance
just for the
on the
engine.
the balance on the motocross is 10. All the rest are maxed, and then the tractor's engine's 10.
Yep.
So there's some weird tunes followed by some max parts, and I think it's a great event.
You like it?
It's I don't mind it. I find it fun because I like I'm actually using the mono wheel more than what I would usually use it ever. Really, to be honest, I'm pretty
Right,
much
yeah,
using the
more
mono.
little
a very
backwards.
strange setup of parts. Like it's got jump shocks, air control, and what's the other one? Fume boost.
Fume boost. You know what though?
When
I'm
do you
actually.
ever use that setup?
Well, you'd have to ask our previous guest about that from the other week. Daspo would know about that one.
I've never once needed to use that setup. It's
I
the weirdest
suppose
setup ever.
It's pretty much obvious. It's blatantly obvious that it's set up on purpose in regards to the air control. So whenever you're going at a high speed, you're gonna smash your face with the mono wheel.
Only if you
Yeah.
come off the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And with the snowmobile, the engine is obviously set to 10 on purpose, so it doesn't get up the hills too quickly, and you reach a high distance
Well, it means you can't hit your head because you've got the cage on too.
because you've got the cage. That's right. I
Why
think some
hit your head climbing hills in a snowmobile?
no, because you can flip backwards, and when
Yeah,
you
so
flip
what you can do
backwards,
is you can climb up until you can't climb anymore, and then you can roll back down the hill because you got your roll cage on.
Yeah, and the motocross is very interesting as well. It's got the heavyweight on there, which really ties the motocross down, makes it really slow, and it can get stuck on the hills quite. I don't know a lot of people using the motocross. I haven't really seen it, to be honest.
It's not called
It's
a
not
race.
really much of a climber.
Nah, it's not a climber at all.
Not with those parts, anyway.
The tractor is getting used on, I think, one of the cave stages. So, yeah, I think
Yeah,
one of
because
those.
you,
One of the
you can't
mine
get
stages.
yeah you can't
One of the
get
mine
past
stages.
a certain you can't get past a certain rock with the mono. Otherwise, I'd use the mono on that one too.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a bad public event. I think it's the creativity from Fingersoft's purposes there. Like they've really thought this one out, I think, and I don't mind it. It's not my favorite, but it's not my worst either.
Yep. No, I like all the climbing events.
Well, we do
Yeah.
play a game called Hill Climb.
Exactly. That's why I like the climbing events.
Did I just do a Pete? I think I just did a Pete. That's what he would say.
Yeah, definitely something I would say.
Oh, good God. Team events. What's happening there?
Yep. Okay, so team events. Previous one was called Temperance. And that, I forget what it actually had on it. Let me have a look. Hang on a sec. Unless somebody
While
else
you
knows.
while you're checking that out, I just want to say that this current event, I cannot wait to see the back of, and I'm gonna burn it to ashes. Never coming back again. So,
I like this event
of course
What?
you would. Yeah, of course you would like it.
because
I
I
don't-
have perfect toys.
I do not mind tracks 2 and 3. I think the majority of our listeners would be in agreement that tracks 2 and 3 relatively consistent. Tracks 1 and 4, on the other hand, especially track 1, and I know a listener who is listening in right now would agree with me when I say this, is absolutely inconsistently, ridiculously.
You've gone and used the word
And the F word. All you can do is add the C word, and I've got a trifecta.
Sorry to give you a little bit of work to do there, Eva, but I'm telling you now, Dreddy is in agreement with me because Dreddy's been pulling out lots of his hair. He's probably got half of his dreadlocks left from track 1. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't wait to see the back of this event, and let's get stuck into the new one, which is almost about release right now. I think it's
Temperance was track 1 was no air on the Shore Stone field, so air penalties. Everyone was using the hot rod. I found that one quite easy to 10k. I don't know about you guys, but I was 10k'ing it on both accounts.
yeah, I 10k'd it a few times.
Yeah, track 2 was the box smashing track with the rally car.
Oh, don't get me started on that crap.
So hit and miss. It wasn't funny.
That
Yeah.
was very,
Oh.
very hit and miss.
So many penguins that tripped you up.
I like what you guys are doing. Track 3 was the disgusting wheelie with the scooter.
That actually wasn't too bad.
I finally got to do something with that scooter. Once I changed to that AB wing and magnet setup, and mate, I smashed it.
I
Yeah.
tried it. I could not work it out. I had to stick with my old one.
No, I couldn't work it out either. I was struggling to get past about 5-6k there. Yeah, I couldn't get up that really big long ramp with the big hill at the end. Sorry, the long ramp at the end. I couldn't get over it.
I mean,
I can't even get over that hill with the racing truck, let alone a scooter.
Yeah, scooter was a terrible choice for a wheelie.
It was very difficult.
Once I'd swapped and got used to it, I was getting high 7s regularly.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty good, mate. Yeah, I don't think many people enjoyed that track, to be honest. What was track 4, Pete?
Track 4 was Distance City Adventure with the Kangaroo Jeep.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I failed once. I think I got 10k every single ticket.
Yeah, well, 10k was a relatively short distance. It was only 1,600, so it was very
1,600
achievable.
meters.
Considering
Yeah,
2,000 meters with the super diesel last time.
yeah, I think that was very, very easy. That one, I don't think it was a challenge at all. Well, I suppose they had to make one stage easy, didn't they?
I think they listened to our previous podcast and said, "Come on, just give us one easy 10k," and that was it.
the right choice of vehicle too with the Jeep Kanga. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. All right. And what about
All
our
right.
current
On
team
to the
event?
next one is Perfect Poise. So we've got Cargo on Countryside Cup. With what are we using for that one? We're using the
The
either
wings
well,
and
on my
coin.
alt account, I'm using motocross because I need the racing truck for later on. But my main account, I'm using the racing truck, getting
Yeah.
average 4,000 to 7,000, depending on how the eggs fly.
It's very, very hit and miss. This one mostly hit, mostly miss for me. I'm not really doing too well like a lot of other players. But yeah, the racing truck probably the favourite here on this one.
Yep.
It really is. It really depending on that second little bit of hill, that third bit.
All about the
Just
start, actually. If you get a good start, the rest just flows nicely. But if you mess up that start bit, it's all over.
Yeah, it's the first start followed by the first landing. You get those two combined.
first landing.
And you keep the momentum going for the rest of the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Track 2, long jump with the bus. I'm a huge fan of that one.
What strategy do you use here? Do you use the fume and turbo here, or do you use thrusters and jump shocks wings?
Well, I've got 2 different strategies because I don't have a very good setup for my alt account.
There's
Alt
also
account, I've
landing
only got
boost as
level
well.
2 thrusters.
Yep.
And I'm still getting 10k. And the other one, the main account, I am using overcharged turbo, wings, and fume boost, breaking the bus in half and then just sending it down the hill.
Yeah.
With fume boost.
Yep. A shout out to Larry in our server. He posted a video of doing the so he goes over the actual ramp and then he will sit there and then just as the fume boost is about to kick in, reverse up the hill and then full accelerator down the hill and get the overcharged turbo to kick in. That's how he does it.
That's my line as well.
Yep. It's not a bad way to do it because it doesn't matter if you go over the hill. Like it does if you do it the other way because you run out of like run up, if that makes sense. The invisible wall comes forwards. But with that one, I actually quite like it.
Yeah, that's a
It
good strat
seems
to do.
easier to time the turbo.
Yeah, you usually roughly around the 280 mark, 290 mark there. So if you've got close to maxing the parts.
Well, 290 is 10k.
Yeah, fair enough.
Track 3, multi jump with the Super Jeep.
10k is pretty short.
Disgusting. I hate this track.
10k is pretty short, bro.
I can't kangaroo.
You've got to keep the momentum, and you've got to really hit the flat spots. If you're not hitting the flat spots and keeping the momentum, you're gonna start losing speed, and it's pretty much all over.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first track, it's the start, and then it's that first landing in the channel.
Where the coins
do you go in the channel or do you bounce on top of the channel?
No, I go into the channel and come out the other side.
Okay.
Go get all those coins.
I've gotten a 700 meter once, and I bounced on top of the second hill.
Yeah. My line works for both. I've dropped the tune to 17s on the Super Jeep. Not max across the lot, just 17s across the board. With max parts, and I've got 10k on both accounts. Which for someone who is my age, I'm not going to say how old I am, but older than 18.
I should certainly hope so.
And considering 12 months ago, I would have maybe got 50 meters on that track. I'm pretty happy with myself. I'm getting better.
Getting better.
Yeah. So no. But yeah, I got a couple of 10Ks on both accounts. So I was pretty happy with that. So, yay me. But on my alt account, I was following one of the guys' lines, Blue Marble. I was following his line, and it was the line I had been doing up until then, which was using that small downhill and back up again in the first landing,
Yep.
and it would shoot you out and then set you up for the rest of the track.
Yeah.
Because there's a little section where it rises 3 times quickly, and then there's a little dip, and then it drops back down to the flat sections.
Oh, yeah.
And
Like a
in
little
those,
sharp point.
in those three little rises, if you get the momentum going and the flying going, you actually land on the top one, not the bottom one,
Mm-hmm.
and that shoots you into basically
A flat spot.
into the flat spot. Yeah, and then it's 3 more bounces into the flat spot, and you're at 700 meters or so. So
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you only need to get 500 meters to get 10K.
yeah, but while you're there, you may as well just keep going.
May as well just keep going.
Now, talk to us about this wretched T4 with the motocross, Pete.
Oh, yeah. It's a tricky one. So it's Metal Gear in Epic Hills is the track, and you've got wings with the motocross. Sorry, you've got wings, thrusters, and landing burst. The strategy is to not get the perfect start, which it throws me all the time, because if you get a perfect start, you end up wheeling when you're not supposed to wheelie, and it just throws the whole line. But if you don't do the perfect start, you get a nice smooth landing, and then it just sends you up the hill, and then you can thrust onto the next landing. And it usually works if you don't spend all of your fuel in the thrust.
You've also got to make sure that after you get the first landing boost, you angle forward more instead of straight up, so don't use as much fuel.
Yes. Forgot that bit, thank you. Yeah, so angle forwards, thrust upwards, keep an eye on the fuel when it gets into the lower section, but you've still got some, stop thrusting and then level out, let the wings take you the rest.
And then just hold on.
Just hold on and hope.
For those with back thrusters on the motocross, do they downgrade to level 3 or do they keep it at max?
Keep it at max. Well, I'm keeping it at max anyway.
It is an option for both. I think I've seen both used. I think Pilot was using, or he was experimenting with, shout out to Pilot, g'day Pilot if you're listening, who is a great player in our server and in our CC team. He was experimenting with level 3 and he was getting some pretty good scores with it as well. But I think he switched back to max.
So he switched to Mad Max's setup, or?
It's gone to Mad Max setup, that's right, yep.
Yeah, which is absolutely full at boost.
Just a couple of things before we move on. Maxi, what was your highest score so far in the event?
In this one?
Yep.
Like 31?
31? Okay, I thought you got higher than that. Well, that must have been a previous
That was
event.
the previous event. What was the
That's
previous
my
event?
beat cheese. That's my beat cheese for the podium. Absolutely horrible.
You did, mate. Congratulations. You did beat him for the podium. Well done. Which is rarity because...
Yeah, I was going to say, you better say it again because it doesn't happen often.
It doesn't happen often.
Sorry, Max, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
I beat you and cheese for the podium.
That's not hard to beat me. I've never been on the podium. Not in Team 1 anyway.
Yeah, very good.
Except for the old.
Yeah, very good, guys. I think it's probably about time to get our guest in. What do you reckon? Should we get Goosey in? What do you reckon, guys?
Loosey goosey.
Nah, keep him waiting.
Keep him. And he's a man of great patience. I'm sure he's enjoyed the podcast so far, listening in. But first off, I reckon we should get our guest in for episode 12. An original team chief with AUSNZ, and formerly with, is it Down Underwear or Woke? Can't remember. Down Underwear. Woke. Is it Woke? Yeah, with Woke. Has 2 player accounts, one in the CC team and one alt account in our rookies team. One of the most friendliest players you could talk to, and is always around if you need a chat. but isn't shy to voice his valid opinions, which is what makes him a great teammate and chief in our server. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Postman Pat himself. We'll let you explain that nickname later on. Goose, thanks for coming on the show, mate. A warm welcome to you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for having me. First of all, happy Easter to everybody. It's been a great time for people to relax, see family. Obviously, people have had a few Easter egg hunts, and the kids have certainly enjoyed it and had a gorge fest, no doubt.
Absolutely, mate. No, a warm welcome to you, and thanks again for coming on the show. It's been a long time coming. I've been looking forward to talking to yourself. I did promise you all those weeks ago, mate, I'm going to get you on, and finally here. And yeah, sorry for the wait. We got carried away in the new update talks, which I want to get your opinion on, which we'll get to in a second. But mate, welcome, and hosts, welcome to Goose Eva.
Yeah, mate, welcome. I've had the honour of physically seeing you face to face at one of our Victorian meets. So I've met you before and we've chatted before, and look forward to chatting more.
And we'll always chat. And since you've already had a go at your pulling your hair out, Eva, only so many perfect heads are created. The rest they put hair on.
Flattery will get you everywhere, mate.
Beautiful. Pete, welcome to our guest Goosey, and I'm pretty sure you're in the same boat. You have also met Goosey in real life.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Nah, yeah, of course I have. I've met him a few times now. We always go to the Vic meets together. Well, not together, but we're always there. Except for the last one where he couldn't make it, so we had a video call.
Yes, we did. And had a drink together.
Yep, we did.
It was good.
Good.
It was something a bit different, but that's the times.
Well, if you can't be there personally, why not? It's the next best thing.
Exactly
Everyone's
right.
using it for Teams meetings and all this sort of stuff. So let's utilise technology as our friend. That's what we're doing tonight.
Exactly.
Goose,
Beautiful.
don't you have a stubby holder with your head on it?
Yes, I do. It was given to me as a present. Yeah, there's a few of them kicking around within the family. They've been going around. A few people have got them now, and it's actually, okay, that's my stubby holder. That's my stubby holder. Yep, we know who's whose.
Does everyone in your family have their own stubby holder? Or is it just your face that's on there?
No, they're all individual faces. No, you wouldn't want my face on all of them.
Then they'd all be your stubby holder.
Yeah, correct. But that's why it's a good thing this is a podcast and it's not actually on television.
We have do we have to explain what a stubby holder is to our international listeners? What's a stubby holder?
No, I think he was more meaning he has a face for radio.
Yes, I know. For those who don't know, a stubby holder is what you put your beer can in because you don't want to get cold hands.
Or actually, it's the other way around. You don't want to warm your beer.
Yes,
don't
correct.
want to warm your beer. That's correct.
You can tell that you don't drink beer.
I don't drink too much beer. No, I'm more of a spirits
It's like
rum kind of guy.
A tea cozy is there to keep the tea warm.
Yeah.
We'll have to ask Bob about that one.
Yep. Bob will know.
Indeed.
All right, Goose, mate. Give us a bit of a history around. Well, first of all, just tell us a bit about yourself to our listeners. What do you do? Where you're from? Where the nickname Postman Pat came from, and a few other things, mate.
Well, bit of a history. To go off in the whole HCR world, I originally played hill climbing racing 1. Was introduced to that by my stepdaughter, actually. Was playing, play this. And it was all about adventure. It's like, all right, bit of fun. Get used to it. The one track I missed about that was you had to hit, I think it was 6K on the city adventure, and you're guaranteed to get 1 million coins for all your upgrades, which was always a good thing. I also used to love racing or doing that with the old train, if you remember it, where you'd lose your carriages and the people would fall out. It was quite humorous. That was always a bit of fun. But yeah, that sort of introduced me. Then they introduced HCR2. That came out, downloaded it. Yeah, bit different. All right, go back to one. Just kept playing adventure. Got into 2. Then then they introduced teams. Joined a team. Was in one for a little while, probably about a week, I suppose. Couldn't even tell you the name of the team. That wasn't really much. Then I've gone, okay, I'll go join another team. There's an Aussie one. Oh, that's got a few players. It's Woke. Okay, let's just go into there. And went in there and got greeted by Bob, Maury, Aussie Butler, Franz Joseph, Scooter King, as he was called back in those days. And the leader was Nate. And what an introduction to the actual game. Just all of a sudden, all these people talking about, oh, wow, this is how we do things and this is how we can improve. And, oh, this is awesome. And it's just a really nice place to be. And it's just settled in well. A whole bunch of guys that all seem to have the same sort of goal, which was really different and amazing at the time.
Yeah, so the camaraderie was like there from the get go, wasn't it? So you felt at home, the team was comfortable, people got along, and it felt right, eh?
It did. It was a really good place to be.
Yeah, no, that's how I felt when I first joined AUSNZ. I came from a team. It was a pretty active team, and people were talking and stuff, but I didn't really feel at home, if you get what I'm saying. And when I joined AUSNZ, it just completely changed. Just basically fell in love more and more and more with, community people in the game itself.
Yeah, fully agree on that. To go on some of the other questions you came up with earlier, I'm affectionately known as Postman Pat. Yes, my job is I am a postman. I don't like to call myself a postman personally. I prefer the idea of I am a professional motorcyclist, and my current sponsor is Australia Post.
I love it. And you do a bloody good job to all those professional motorcycle riders out there. Thank you very much for all your services.
So
thank you.
What model of motorcycle do you ride?
Oh, it's the old Honda. It's not a CT 110 anymore. It's now an NBC 110, which is still 110 cc's. So it's full of power, about 3 horsepower, I think. But
Pretty
in saying that, they are a very comfortable bike to ride for a very long period of time. Not the most powerful.
That helps.
But they are comfortable to ride. So, and they're very easy to control.
They're the 4-speed automatic clutchless, aren't they?
Yes, they are a 4-speed automatic. They have a centrifugal clutch. So you still have to change gears. You just don't physically have a clutch.
Yeah, I've ridden one. My ex-father-in-law had one on the farm. He used to use it to go to and from the shed. It was not a ag bike, but he used it like an ag bike.
Yes, they are a very versatile motorcycle, and they can go almost anywhere. So hence why...
Almost.
Yeah, almost. I mean, it's still got ground clearance. You've still got limitations. You've got mail on them. So there's a bit of weight.
Yeah, paper weighs a fair bit.
It does when it builds up, that's for sure. It gets heavier and heavier.
But the idea is you get rid of it during the day.
Well, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Now it's a busy time for you, isn't it, Goose, in regards to your for your job?
Yes, at the moment, with elections called, all the politicians get all their mail sent out for them, so everybody knows who is in their local electorate, and so you get to see who's currently there and who's trying to get in.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not much of a politicians person myself. I'm not really. I'm pretty much. Well, no, I wouldn't say I'm anti-politics, but I'm not really into the whole political game. But there is an election coming up, and those international listeners listening in now, our Prime Minister and our opposition leader are fighting it out to become the new leader, and may the best person win, I suppose.
Making a fool of themselves too.
Yeah, but as politicians usually do. Anyway, go on, Goosey, mate. Sorry, we're jumping off subject.
Oh, that's all right.
So you joined Woke, and then of course something happened to Woke. They merged with a certain other team, didn't they, down the track?
Well, when we were at Woke, we created the daily server where we got a few people from other teams to come in and race against all of us. We had a no poaching rule because we didn't want to destroy any of the teams that we currently have. We liked our teams. We just wanted to experience or take the game to another level. From then, not so friendly match against Down Underwear. That Down Underwear proved to be the victors in. But what an introduction to two Aussie teams as to what could happen if we got together. One thing led to another. A few teams were looking at different things, and Beats came along, got a few people together, and we all started getting the whole merger thing going. Sure enough, AUSNZ was created.
Here, and it's been the best bloody thing that's happened since.
Indeed.
Without a doubt. You mentioned earlier that I was one of the original chiefs. I actually wasn't. I was gifted my chiefdom within it after AUSNZ had been going for a couple of months. And I'm extremely thankful for being bestowed the honour of being a chief. I try to live up to it as best as I can. In saying that, I'd like to keep AUSNZ as a place where everyone is welcome. In saying that, I can't say that everybody is welcome because it doesn't suit everybody. We try to keep a certain feel in there that people want to be. It's a fun place. We all play a game. It's the game that got us all together. And being a game, it's supposed to be fun. Once you take the fun out of it, and people have mentioned burnout and stuff like that, it happens. It's a very addictive game. It takes a long time to grind. You can't get it early. We've all been playing the game. I don't know how long you guys have been playing it before, but I've personally been playing for over 3 years.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I've been playing it since 2018, so roughly about 4 years. Yeah.
Yep.
But
I actually don't know how long I've been playing it for.
Look, everything.
I created the game, so I've been playing it since it started.
Oh, jeez, g'day, mate, bro. We actually haven't really heard from you much this evening. Glad that you finally woke up out of your dungeon that you sleep in. Thanks for coming along. Now, Goose, you had something to say to Mate Brobot, didn't you? You wanted to say something.
Oh,
Just before we forget.
I certainly won't forget that one. Mate Brobot I love Mate Brobot regarding what he brings to the server, what she, undefined, however he defines himself as.
I'm Mate Brobot. I'm a guy.
Well, I don't know. Well, it's a bot. Does a bot actually have a definition? I don't know that it does.
You don't need zeros and ones.
Exactly. But just the character of Mate Brobot that it brings is absolutely awesome. But I remember before Mate Brobot was even on the server, when it was first created on the Woke server. So, Mate Brobot, do you remember your first name?
Not really. It's been a long time. I think it might have been something to do with Loosey Goosey, Gander.
I thought Mate Brobot's first name was Mate.
Yeah, no, it's called Mate Brobot when he was actually nominated on the AUSNZ server as a bit of, I suppose, some upbeat humour with all of his sayings that he brings out. I mean, some are always contentious, like listen to Dreddy for he is wise. Don't know about that one.
That one's been over-exaggerated quite a bit over the years, hasn't it?
It was actually one of his very first sayings that carried across.
He is pretty wise, though. For a guy from Tasmania, he's pretty wise.
Yeah, we'll give him that one, I guess. He can have that one.
Yes, he can have that one.
Good old Brobot. We do have a special relationship with him. Goose, then AUSNZ was formed, and all these last couple of years have just been a huge big ride, and having you a chief in the server has been great, mate, because you bring a lot of ideas and everything to the server, and you look after the young ones as well, and in rookies and a few things, and mate, you do a fantastic job all around.
Oh, thank you. But it's not just myself. I think it's everybody combined. It's not down to one individual. It's everybody doing it together. We have a very democratic, but no, everybody brings something unique to it. Everything working together that comes together that makes AUSNZ what it is. It's not just us Australians and Kiwis that are in there, us and New Zealanders. It's everybody who comes to the server. Come along, be yourself. It's a place to hang out.
Yep. Here,
Yeah.
here, and it's the friendships you build along the way. I mean, I know we all have we all got a close friendship with each other, and you've got a few close friends yourself, Goose, and it's just that mateship that you make with people on the server, and you get to know people in the server a lot better than probably say a couple of like real life friends, wouldn't you?
Oh, that you do. You spend a lot of time with people, and you also know within the game you've already got something in common with that person because we're all doing it together. We're all playing it, and then you just sort of build on that. I mean, speaking of friendship, this friendship that I've got with Muzz, from two rivals to now, oh, what are you using for this? What are you doing for that?
Muzz wanted to be here tonight, mate. We were going to surprise you and bring him in to give you a bit of banter. Unfortunately, he has had a busy weekend. I believe he's got a couple of birthdays on and he is unable to make it tonight. However, I have a message from Muzz himself to you, Goose, which I shall read out now live on air. For Goose. To Goose, my best mate, from Muzz. Sorry I couldn't drop in for the podcast, but I just wanted to add my acknowledgement of the great job you do for AUSNZ. It's a shame that you're a player, but that doesn't matter because I'm a player too, and we're really close matched. Probably more so than any other player that I know. Some of our daily challenges have been pretty epic battles, and have been really enjoyable too. Whilst we have had some great chats online, I look forward to hearing more about the life and times of Postman Pat and whether you have a black and white cat named Jess. All the best, mate. All lots of love from Muzz.
Oh, Muzz, that is brilliant. I absolutely love you. But that's just, it says it all. It really does. It started off as such rivalry, and now it's just, yep, let's have a bit of fun with this one. Yep, you've got this one. No, I've got this one. Your turn. My turn.
I'm crying.
Oh, it really does. Like it touches me. It really does. Do I have a black and white cat called Jess? No, I don't. Unfortunately, I do have a couple of cats, but no, not a black and white one per se.
I was just saying something there. What was that, Brobot?
I'm crying.
I think Brobot's a little bit jealous of the friendship that you've got with Muzz there, Goose. You might have to set the record straight.
Mate, Brobot, you can never be replaced. You'll always be there.
I'm crying. I'm crying. I'm crying.
Brilliant. No, but look, just going back onto Muzz, you guys have built up such a great friendship, and but yeah, like you said, a rivalry that started out with the daily competition, and you guys are pretty much on a very similar level. You know, one week and one day you'd be beating him, the next day he'd be beating you, and you know that's where the friendship really started, didn't it?
These days, it's a case of this is what I'm using. How about you try this? And whoever wins out of it, great, well done. It's not like I have to beat you at all costs. That's what it was originally, but not anymore. Sometimes you just get a better run.
It's grown, hasn't it? It's just that respect and that friendship there, hasn't it? It's like, you know, you'll do this, he'll do that, and you'll share tactics with each other and try and, you know, get the best out of each other.
Well, yeah, because let's face it, it's a game that is physics based. To keep us all playing a game for as long as what we have, it's got to have something that really does, I suppose, keep us engaged. And that's a constant challenge. All of us are here. We play a game that has, as a team, what do we get out of it? What are the rewards? It's just pride. And that's all it is. It's just, you don't win anything out of it. It's just purely pride. And it's just how much you can better yourself. So we're all competitive to some extent. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here as long as what we have been.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, were you listening to us before, Goose, about the new update, mate? What's your thoughts on the new vehicle and the new adventure track as well?
Okay, as I've had such a hectic week, where I've already worked my 40 hours this week in a 4-day week, I haven't had a lot to look at this week. I haven't had a great deal of time. From what I have seen, let's see what the vehicle does. When I get time, I will have a look at it. Sorry, I've just had a really busy week where work comes first, and this is a game I play when I get the chance. And that's something that's probably in saying that, it's something that probably we all need to learn, the fact that it is a game, and it is just to take us away from whatever else is happening. It's something to enjoy.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, family comes first. Work and life comes first. The game always is second.
Yep.
That should be in everybody's motto. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you'll get to have a look at the vehicle, mate, later on, but probably after the election, I guess that's when you get
Yeah.
a chance to look at it. But
Yeah, I've got a few more weeks of hectic.
just a few more weeks. First impressions, you'll be like, wow, okay, it's going to be interesting how it's going to be run.
Well, if it's going to be anything like as was said earlier within the podcast, talking about when the rotator came out, we thought that was crap. When the hot rod first came out, we hated the hot rod. It's one that wasn't mentioned earlier, but now I pull the hot rod out quite often. It's just a fun vehicle to use. Same as the EV as
they
well.
actually fixed the hot rod, didn't they? It used to run out of fuel a lot faster.
Yeah, it did.
Yes.
It did.
Yeah, that made
Yeah.
it a lot more fun.
Yeah, you only had three or 3.5 really good shots with it, and then you'd be out of fuel. And then they extended it to 6 good bursts.
Yeah, then they patched it and it became better.
But in saying that, though, we've all learnt to use it over time. And I'm sure that will be the same with a loader ride as well. It will probably start off as, okay, this is crap, but we'll get used to it. I mean, we still refer to the sports car as the fastest car in the game when it was first released, is now the brick, because that's what it is.
That's just how it rolls. Rolls like a brick.
It's the brick unless you're Draken from Germany who can fly and do a city map in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, there are freaks everywhere.
He does 5,000 he does 5 kilometers in under 2 minutes with the brick. It's quite a good video to watch if anyone wants to get a good kick out of it.
With all vehicles, some we'll like, some we won't. Some we prefer to use, but at least there's a variety there, and you can try different skills on different things. Some people are better at others, and some than others. It's like anything in life. Some people are better at some things, and others are better at others.
Guys, do you got any questions or anything you want to tell to Goose before we move on to the viewer questions?
Yeah,
I
I've
have-
got one question. You go first, Eva.
I have a very, very, very specific question. It's not from me, it's from Dreddy. But I said I wanted to ask this personally because I thought it was right up my alley. So, would you consider a career change or stay in the industry if they change the title from postman? I know you talked about being a motorbike rider to the new title of male escort.
Mail, as in M-A-I-L.
Oh, that would be Dreddy. That's the sort of thing that Dreddy would ask. In saying that, I already am a male escort per se, where I don't have my own round. As I said, I don't have my own round, and what you call a reliever, in which case I get around.
I would pay top dollar to see you, Mr. Male Escort Goose.
Well, I escort the mail from one address to another.
My question, Goose,
Go
is
for it.
what made you come up with the name Goose?
I've been called Goose all my life. Generally, when you go into a game, you think of what's the first thing that you come to your mind, because you just want to get onto it and start playing the game. So, what's the first one that comes in? You generally go with that. You use Pete. You've been called Pete your entire life, so that's the unique name that you have. I've been called Goose my entire life.
Is it something to do with, is it Top Flight?
No,
that
it's
movie?
right. Top Gun.
Top Gun.
And no, I don't actually have a best friend, Maverick.
Well, Goose dies in that. Sorry if you haven't watched Top Gun yet. I just spoiler alert. It's only
It is spoiler alert.
It's only 45 years old.
Exactly. I was going to say it's well past its prime, but I mean they've got the new movie out though, don't they? It's like
Yeah.
Wouldn't have a clue.
I think it's Goose's son is in that one, isn't it, or something like that in the new
I
Top Gun?
don't know.
Yeah, I think
I
think
don't
so.
know. Being an elder statesman, it's a movie of my youth. It's been around for quite a while. But no, Goose is rhyming slang with my name, so it's gone with that. And as I said, I've been called it my entire life. After watching Game of Thrones with Tyrion Lannister, he was called the Imp. Acknowledge it, embrace it. That way, people can't use it against you. So I've always used Goose.
Yep.
Fair call. Fair call.
Good answer.
Don't say anything about Game of Thrones. I've got that on. How do I say? I am saving it for a rainy day. Every single season, every single episode. So don't say anything about Game of Thrones.
Spoiler alert: the droids are terrible in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. I have
Yes.
no idea what you're talking about, but that's all right.
Sorry,
I'm saving Game of Thrones for a very rainy day where I've got nothing else to do.
I heard you.
Yeah.
I just
don't watch it with the kids.
No,
I won't
it's
be
definitely
watching
not.
with the kids, but maybe with the wife. Might get things.
I don't know if you'd like it either.
Or even then, I don't know.
All right, maybe by myself might be a bit more dangerous. All right. Anything else we want to ask? Max, you want to ask Goosey anything, mate, before we go to the viewer questions?
Well, my question's in the questions list.
I read it out.
Would you like to read your question out? Yeah.
Have you ever got the junk mail thrown back at you?
Not physically, but I've had a lot of people say, I don't want that. You know where it's going? In which case, we can always think. But it's entirely up to them as to what they do with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Postmans don't really give you the junk mail that often these days. It's more just random people going around with flyers, isn't it, really?
No, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
But
At my town, we have a local guy who does it. He just drives around and walks a couple of blocks and then drives to the next block, walks a couple of blocks.
yeah, but in saying that, it's, as you like to call it, junk mail. It helps keep me employed. Whilst
Yep.
we're delivering it, we're keeping other people employed.
People who print it.
Yeah, printers, the companies who you're actually putting it out for, and we're getting paid to do it as well. So it benefits everybody as much as it's an inconvenience. We all get a benefit from it.
Money's
Yep.
money.
Just like watching ads to get another few points on the public event.
Yes.
Exactly right.
If I give you a contact number right now, can you tell me what parcel is?
I'm outside of working hours,
He's
but I
not
can
on
tell
the-
you where your parcel. I can
he's-
tell you where your parcel might be placed.
Yeah. He's not on the clock at the moment, mate, so he's not getting paid for it.
Yeah, no, I'm just staring. I know where
Yeah,
it is.
so am I.
I can track and trace.
Oh, brilliant.
Have you got any questions, JPR?
No, I actually don't think I got a chance to write any questions for Goose, but there's a lot of questions here to get through anyway. My question was, the only question I had in mind was, who's the better player, overall player? Is it Goose or is it Muzz?
I'm going to be a fence sitter, and we each have our vehicles we're better at, and certain tracks we're better at. We are very evenly matched, and to say we're not the best, but we're not the worst.
I'm crying.
That's a good answer. All right, go for it, lads. Ask away, whoever is next.
Eva, you're up.
From Kingslayer, who would you rather have beers with in real life, Sarge or Kingslayer, or both of them at the same time?
As they are both relatively new to our server and certainly new to our team, I think the best way to do it would actually be to have both of them at the same time. That way, we can all share a beer, all share a laugh, and just talk about the game and life in general. Sorry, guys.
We can have a laugh at previous interactions with Sergeant Kingslayer from the past as well.
We certainly can, but as a history is a history, and we are all starting afresh. We give everybody a chance. We do that the same with everybody to AUSNZ. We all get a chance. Let's see how you take it on.
Just a shout out to Sergeant Kingslayer. I've got to say, they've come into the server, they've come into the CC team, and they're doing a absolutely terrific job. They're going great. Kingslayer and I have been talking about footy and about the AFL and a couple of things on Supercoach and things like that. So seem like really good guys, and I'm actually kind of happy that we gave them a second chance and they're proving themselves to us. So yeah, well done, lads. Keep going, keep doing what you're doing, and massive shout out to those guys.
Excellent. All right, I've got a question from Rexzu. Goose has been one of the most helpful people in the server, so I have to ask, what is your favourite type of cheese?
I knew it was coming, didn't I? Wow.
Oh, it's an ongoing question, isn't it?
What emoji can I do for that? Can I do like that laughing emoji with that old guy?
Oh, no, there's only one emoji we can have for this, my favourite cheese. I mean, going by the server, it's got to be Swiss cheese.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese is your favourite.
How can you not like Swiss cheese, really?
Well, that's true.
It's too holy for me.
You're focusing on the holes and not the actual cheese.
I like a nice smoked cheese. That's my favourite cheese.
Oh, listen, I enjoy a really good saganaki, but as I said, from the server, it's got to be Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
I've got a question from now. Is it pronounced Safizan? I think it's Safizan or Safison. Safson?
Safizan?
Safzon. Safizan. I don't know.
Safizan.
Yeah, he's a really good character. One of our community members in the community guest in the server. Really good guy. I think Baron Max was saying that he's in pretty much every single HCR2 server possible, which is, I don't know, achievable.
It's a lot of servers.
He's a very friendly chap, and yeah, really good guy. He's asked the question: which sports did you like? Bowling, football, and golf.
Well, golf has always been a great walk spoiled. Football, now I'm not sure which football he's referring to. I refer to AFL, and both Beats and I follow the same team, which we certainly enjoyed their win last weekend.
And that would be the Mighty Hawks, I'm guessing.
That will be the Mighty Hawks, yes. And bowling, is he talking lawn bowls or 10-pin?
Well, I don't know.
I'd go with lawn bowls.
I would have to say, well, I was actually going to say 10-pin.
Yeah, definitely 10-pin, but lawn bowls, the underdog.
Yeah.
I just don't know how I go with the flipper at lawn bowls.
Yeah. Lawn bowls is actually quite fun. If you haven't played lawn bowls before, like I don't know if you guys have this down in Melbourne, if in the clubs in Melbourne, but we have a lot of barefoot bowling that goes on here. And
They have it here too.
Yeah, and they get on the drink and a lot of like Bucks parties and things. They do barefoot bowling, and it's quite a fun time. It's really lots of fun.
And it's so cheap too.
It's so cheap, and you have a ball.
You have so much fun.
Yeah, it's really good.
Had a tournament with the local businesses. There wasn't every business. There was a few businesses. Had 4 people per team. Sorry, 3 people. And we'd just have a big tournament, and it was a great night. It was just a shame it was on a Tuesday night.
And you have to go to work on the Wednesday.
Yeah, and I was no good.
No good at the bowling or no good at work the next day?
No good at work the next day. It was written off pretty much.
So it was a good bowling night then.
It was, yeah. Good fun because you're playing with the boss, so he's feeling the same way the next day and he understands.
Before you guys steal this, there is one question I actually want to ask Goose, and I want to get it before my co-hosts decide to ask it, because I found this question quite fascinating. I wanted to ask it to Goose because I really want to get his intake on it. This question is from Cthulhu, who we had on a couple of episodes ago.
Good old Cthulhu.
Good old Cthulhu. Shout out to our shout out to our main man Cthulhu.
Yes, the elder god Cthulhu. Yes, the serpent from the sea.
That's correct, and it was a pleasure to talk to him as well. But I found this question quite interesting. Pretend you are in a time trial, team event style, in a tournament. Let's say 5 versus 5. Which 4 AUSNZ players would you select for your team? So yourself and 4 other players.
Oh, geez, great question. First one that comes to mind, BG, without a doubt. The amount of times he just blitzes time trials. the daily server on that is just an absolute legend.
Not to mention his team event scoring power. Right at the moment, I think he's on 36k in Team 2 and leading the top as well.
Yeah, as I said, first one that comes to mind without even thinking of anybody else. In
Beautiful.
saying that, I'd also have to go for purely on time trials. And I've seen a massive improvement from this person ever since they started doing it, and that's from Belder. He has come a long way, and he's only getting better at it.
Yep.
Can't forget our friends from New Zealand as well, and just because he's so good at the game overall, he's an absolute freak at the game. He would also be there, and I'd also include Pilot. Again, all great time trial people. Their times are brilliant. Some great lines.
Great question and great selection, I've got to say as well. One can hardly argue, and that would be a very, very strong team if you go up against that team for sure.
Except I'd be the weakest link. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, me too if I was in that team as well. But a lot of people would be the weakest link in that team, mate. Don't you worry about that. Great question.
So my question, which is actually my own question, do you always ring twice?
Yes, we have to. Yes, not only do we ring the bell, we also knock on the door.
I have proof you don't, but not you. My local postie doesn't.
I am not your local postie.
Yeah, I know. My ring doorbell will tell you otherwise.
As I said, I'm not your local postie. I could do it one day, though. There is a possibility.
You never know. You never know. If you do, I'd make you a cup of coffee.
I would love to have one of your cups of coffee, actually, Eva. One of Pete's, on the other hand,
It makes a good cup. All right, so I've got one from Dreddy. What level suspension do you run on when you put Kanga parts on your postie bike?
it doesn't matter what level parts they are. You know I'm hopeless at Kanga.
Now, what level suspension do you run?
Whatever the maximum suspension I'm allowed to have on it, which I think is about 3. I'm not allowed to go any higher.
Yep. All right. Good answer.
Saying goodbye to Maxi. Guys, Maxi's left us for the evening. Thanks for joining, Maxi, and thanks for filling in. Well, not really filling in, but just really coming on as an extra special guest on the show. So
I wonder if
that,
Mummy
Max.
was calling to Maxi telling him he's got to go to bed.
Possibly. He might have to get up early in the morning. So, yeah, that's probably what happened. So, okay, so I got one from Jack Rabbit, who's nicknamed JR in our server. Great shout out to Jack Rabbit, of course. I'll just ask her one of her questions. She's got another one as well. But what is the most bizarre or inappropriate object you have seen in the mail?
We don't physically see them.
Suppose you could, because you wouldn't be able to feel them either, because they'd be in a cardboard box, so you couldn't really feel the object either.
Well, some things are blatantly obvious regarding what they are. I can't disclose too much, but some, as I said, are left to zero imagination regarding what it is, either the way it's wrapped up or the description that's actually on the item.
Let's just cut to the chase here and go. Most of the things that it's from adult shop purchases.
Well,
Mainly.
that could be the case, yes. But as I said, even then, as to what name they put on it, whether it be a personal massager, what else? A daily item. Some of the other things have been a bit more blatant regarding exactly what they are.
Yeah.
But you just sort of take it and you laugh and you say, yep, somebody's going to have a good night tonight.
Yeah. You would probably be imagining so. Yeah. Yeah, let's just probably not go down that path.
I'm remembering the actual audience we've got now. This caters for everybody. Like our server, it's PG.
It is PG. We will keep it, except for possibly a future podcast episode, which I'm planning on doing with JR and another female presenter in our adults channel down the track. But that's a work in progress at the moment, so might have to spill the beans on that a bit later. Her other question was, what are your passions in life, Goose? Hobbies, and what else do you do in outside of HCR2?
Well, obviously I work and I work a lot, but that's more work to survive, more than anything else. In saying that, I am a professional motorcyclist. Love motorcycling. I don't really work. If you find something you enjoy doing, embrace it.
Do you have a motorbike, another motorbike at home besides the work vehicle?
Oddly enough, no, I haven't for years. Just due to various circumstances, life in general. I haven't actually had a motorbike for years. I do miss having my own. Would I have another one? Yes, if I was allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, motorcycling's a passion. I enjoy going out fishing when I get the chance. If anyone else is out there, enjoy freshwater fishing rather than saltwater.
Yeah, you'd have to go back down that midlife crisis path, mate, to get yourself another bike. I guess.
I'm already at that midlife section. Thanks. No, it's even then. I'm on a bike every day. I still get the enjoy of riding it, just not to the same extent as what you do when you're actually on the open road.
I've got one from Larrikin. Are you all healed up from your savage dog attack the other week?
Yes, I am. The dog, though, I haven't actually heard back from the owners, so I don't know whether the dog actually came down with anything on it afterwards. It may have come down with the goosebumps or anything else like that. I don't know. I haven't heard.
Excellent.
Is that obviously it's a hazard in your type of area of work? Dealing with animals and stuff like that, especially dogs. But occasionally come across aggressive dogs on your routes.
Yes.
And what type of protection would you have in regards to that? Like, do you have clothing that protects you from it or anything, or do you have any do you have any leg pads or anything, or?
Within the state, the only thing by law we have to wear is a helmet to actually ride a motorcycle. For the company, we also need to wear boots and gloves. High PPE gear, being high vis. But when it comes to pants, it's just whatever pants they supply us, or we can also wear shorts on the really hot days. So, no, as to what you do is experience. Some dogs will just come out, others, you can hear them. You take evasive action. That's all I can really say about that. You learn on the job.
It's definitely a hazard in regards to a lot of postie jobs right around the world, mate. So it's something that I suppose is part of the job, isn't it?
It is. It's public enemy number one to a postie is a dog.
Yep. It's been going around for years and years.
And it still will.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I should have a black and white cat called Jess.
And I thought it would have been rakes in tall grass as you walk across the front lawn.
No, he's not Sideshow Bob.
No, I'm not Sideshow Bob. I don't have the hair.
The good old rakes for Sideshow Bob, classic Simpsons.
Yeah, so this is from Mad Max. What are your thoughts on Dreddy as the leader?
That's a really good question, actually.
It is. That's why I thought I'd give it a go.
That is a really good question because Dreddy's a character, to say the least. I've known Dreddy for quite a while. Dreddy joined us at Woke. He was originally in the Big Cheese, came to Woke, and he asserts himself very, very quickly. To what he was when I first met him to now, he's really matured extremely well. Very proud of the job that he's actually doing. From the person he was to what we see now, certainly the best person we need leading the ship that we currently have at the moment. And that's my honest opinion on Dreddy. I've got a lot of time for Dreddy, and I always will.
I'd have to agree with you.
Yeah, he definitely does a great job.
Yep, definitely agree with that one.
My personal favourite is, because I'm part of the recruiting crew, he alters the password to suit the person joining at the time.
Yep.
And I think that's a nice touch.
It is a nice touch.
As I said, as a person, he really has matured a lot. And as I said, very proud of what he now does and what he brings.
Yep, we've been lucky to have a lot of good leaders who have led AUSNZ right from the very beginning. With Camo, with Bob as well, and we had Boulder as well. Who we've been very lucky to have great leaders who have led AUSNZ, and with our current leader Dreddy, he's continuing on the tradition and is sailing the ship in the right direction.
Fully agree with that.
Great question. Good answer.
Yes, here. This one's from Just Chill. Shout out to Just Chill in the server. This is for mainly Goose and Eva. So this is for you as well, Eva. If oh geez, I don't know if I should read this one out. if you if you weren't bald, what hairstyle would you want, or what would be your dream hairstyle?
I'm going to answer quickly there, but I actually sent him a picture of my hairstyle when I was about his age, at which he kind of laughed very funnily and then didn't realise that it was actually really a picture of me.
Oh, there you go. You're up, Goose. What do you? What? I'm betting you you would have had the mullets back in the 70s and so forth, mate. Does that sound about right?
90s, try 90s. In the
Yeah,
90s, I had a mullet.
exactly. Try 90s. I had the mullet as well.
90s and the mullet, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
late
right.
80s, early 90s was the mullet time, and yes, I had one. Through time, I've become hair follically challenged, and now we embrace the baldness.
Yep.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say there are certain people that just can't get away with shaving their heads, and there are some that can. And, it's nice to be among some people that can.
Yeah, I'll just let mine fall out naturally.
I've got a question from Savage. Have you ever been duck shooting? Being a goose.
I'm sorry, I can't. And I've got to go on with Alfie in this. I've got to look after my fellow birds. Can't go duck shooting, sorry.
Yep, me either.
Couldn't do it. But being a goose, I can't. I just can't do it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. There is one question left from JR, which we missed. What mythical creature would best represent you, and why?
That's a really good question, actually. I must admit, I did a little bit of research on this, so I didn't really think about it too much. And I go, actually, how would I actually see myself? I looked at some mythical creatures, and I thought probably the best thing for me would be a griffin, which is the top half of an eagle with the back half of a lion, and they are.
Is it a bald eagle?
No. It's
I've got to pay that one,
Sorry.
Pete. That was good.
Sorry.
That would probably have gone over my head.
Oh, that was quite good. That was really good, actually. That was good timing.
it certainly didn't go through the hair of your head.
No, I felt it go over the top.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, Goose. The griffin, I think it's called griffinor.
Yeah, it's the griffin, like it's the
yes,
top half of an eagle and the back half of a lion. But
yes,
they're
that's right.
guardians. Yeah, they're guardians. They're protectors.
And they fly. They soar through the air, and
It's,
they can't be approached. They've got to be approached cautiously because they're a very honourable creature. They demand respect. This is the Harry Potter coming out of me. If you've seen Harry Potter, you'll know what it is.
I was going to say that's from Harry Potter.
Yes, it is.
the reason I chose that is not. I think it's more the protector. Part of my role as being one of the chiefs in AUSNZ is not just a moderator, but it's how the overall server comes across, how the whole feeling comes across, to make sure we adhere to where everyone wants to be, rather than if you don't like it, you're not going to be here.
The overall protector guardian of the server, watching out for the young stars and make sure there's no trouble and things like that. Like
Guiding the rookies, helping people, helping the whole lot.
Yeah, here, exactly right. Yes, I think all the Chiefs really have that that mentality about them. So yeah. Goose, mate. Now it's about time. We're probably gonna wrap things up. We're gonna probably go over time here anyway, but it's worth it. Goose, mate. Let's get a list together and give us a few shout outs, mate. A few players that you've played with throughout your HCR2 history. A couple of shout outs to anybody you would like within the community, AUSNZ or the game in particular, mate. The floor's yours. Go for it.
Shout outs if they're still listening. Fryer and Dougie, without a doubt, what they brought, who they are, what they help with Zerfi. I know that message has been sent before. It's amazing how much the game itself can change lives. But the first person I met who I really got along with, Ozzy Battler. Big shout out to him. Great guy. But Maury, absolute legend. Dreddy, again, absolute legend. But people that help the server in general, overall, some of our internationals, Cthulhu, JR, I know some of the young guys, Lin J adds a lot to the server as well. Just Chill. I mean, the list is endless. Everybody adds to it. I could keep going on this for ages, but I won't. Everybody brings something, and that's something I really enjoy about the whole community that we have.
Yep, absolutely, mate. It's look, AUSNZ is going to be around for a long while to come. You know, obviously HCR2 is at the back end of its life, I would say. But if and when HCR3 comes on board, I'm pretty sure that we'll all be jumping ship, and we will continue on the AUSNZ name and community into the new game, I'd say. So we aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, hopefully they have a team function on that game too.
I would pretty safely say they would, mate, because the team aspect of HCR2 is pretty much everything in regards to like it's what makes the game, to be honest.
Well, it's probably the start of what made the game
It's,
the thing that most people wanted to play.
that's right. So
With the friendships we've actually built up within playing HCR2, if we were to go somewhere else, I'd say quite a few of us would actually go together anyway.
Yeah, I'd say that.
exactly. Yep. I would say so too. Any final thoughts, guys, before we wrap things up tonight?
Nothing from me. Are we gonna introduce the next episode's guest?
Well, I would like you to do that, Evo. I would love you to do the honors since it's a close friend of yours.
Well, I'll say it in a language that she will understand. Vamos a tener a Tessa. So Tessa Cat, or Tessa, who is one of the pit crew, who runs TNT, which is the new team, which my alt is on currently, will be joining us to talk to us in her inverted commas broken English. I have said to her that I'm going to learn a couple of the questions in Spanish, so then she can feel a bit more at home with my really bad Spanish and her supposedly really bad English. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to chatting to her. We've been friends for probably 2 years. I joined her team after I left the oldies, before I joined AUSNZ. That's where I met You Can't Beat Me. Yeah, had lots of laughs with her. And the team, the old Team Cats was a whole lot of fun. So really looking forward to chatting to her, and really looking forward to having her on the podcast.
Beautiful. We cannot wait to talk to her. Okay, no problem. That should be a great episode, and I'm really looking forward to that. But I guess for the following episode in a month's time, that's going to be an interesting one because I've actually teed up that next guest, and it's not who you think it is as well, because that particular guest is not ready yet. I have teed up a couple of mates of mine. Let's just say there's going to be a lot of chaos about the podcast.
Awesome. Looking forward to that.
It's going to be a lot of chaos.
We need some control.
Yeah.
Mate,
Would you believe?
I'll be sure
Would
to
you
be
believe
there.
the place is surrounded?
Yeah. So I can't really give you much hints on that, but the question is who from that particular team that will be coming on? Well, you'll have to find out. Until then, it's goodbye and see you later. But hang on, before we do that, I just want to thank Goose for coming on the show, mate. It's been a pleasure to talk to you tonight, and yeah, we really appreciate your time and getting to know you a bit better and having a good old laugh. And mate, it's been a long time coming, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
No worries, mate. It's a pleasure, mate. And I'm pretty sure the listeners will enjoy this episode thoroughly as well. Pete, Eva, pleasure again, lads. See you soon, and thanks for another great episode.
Likewise, have a good week, weekend, and week, everybody.
Yes, enjoy the long weekend again.
And for those that don't know, it's Anzac Day on Monday, which is a very, very important day for Australian and New Zealanders. Anzac Day is a public holiday in Australia and New Zealand that we remember the fallen who have fought in World War One, World War Two, pretty much all World War Wars and so forth. So we remember those who have fallen in the field of battle. So Anzac Day on Monday. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.